And we are live across the nation. We're talking about Steve Coogan.
We were talking about Stan and Oliver, the movie.
It's a good film. Stan and Ollie.
Stan and Oliver. Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Great film.
Have
And
you
I
ever-
actually believe that's how pretty much how it was. I'm sure they over dramatized it, but I'm sure
the part where they have that little bit of a tiff at the party. Yeah, that was a little bit much. There was some problems between them after Oliver Hardy went ahead and did a movie without Stan. You know, it was he played King, or he played Friar Tuck in a Earl Flynn movie. Anyway, have you ever seen the Music Box? It's a short that Laurel Hardy did back in the early 30s. If you have a chance, go on YouTube and load up the Music Box with Laurel and Hardy. It is premium comedy. It's like 30 minutes long, and they won an Academy Award for that.
I believe it. Those two were geniuses.
Oh yeah,
I liked them.
Yeah, Stan Laurel wrote basically the majority of their bits. You know, they did. Yeah, really, you got to watch it though. The Music Box.
The Music Box. If I can find it, I will watch it.
I like old comedy teams in general. Or just like, I'm a huge Charlie Chaplin fan, so it was a bit before then.
Mm-hmm.
Love Charlie Chaplin, but like, I have yet to see a Jerry Lewis Dean Martin movie that I could really stomach.
Yeah, the movies were not. Their comedy bits that they did live were good.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I wish they had. It drives me nuts. I'm a huge fan of theirs, and I wish that they had cameras back in that day, back when they were at like the Copa.
Right.
Because back before they hated each other. You know, I've read like Dean and Me: A Love Story, which was written by Jerry Lewis, and like I've read most of their like biographies. You know, like Dean has one that was done by his daughter that told about his life. Like, I love them, but I hate the fact that even when you go to watch the Colgate Hour, it was still great, but they hated each other by then. It was already over. So it would be interesting to see them before like all that stuff hit them.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they didn't really hate each other. They actually chose the day that they were going to quit.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same date, 10 years after the first day they started.
Right.
Yeah. But they just couldn't see doing it together anymore, and then Dean went on to do some really nice stuff.
Yeah.
My hero, Dean Martin. I mean, come on.
You know, like, Jerry's the one that introduced him to Frank and got him into a lot of that stuff. Because a lot of people didn't really care about Dean's music at first.
Yeah. Okay.
All right then. Hit it.
Okay. Yes, we'll play it back now for you. Mrs. Pondelay, I know I oughta come around today to see your daughter. She's rather young and sweet. I'd like to meet your daughter. She's so young. I'm just a butcher down the street. She's holding hostage. I'll measure up some meat and show me saucy because she's young and sweet. I'd like to meet your daughter. Sausage on the bun. No, I'm no fool. I never drool, but she could make me lick me lips. But she's so young, I won't use tongue. I'll just wait for me fish and chips. This is Pondelay. I know I oughta come around today to see your daughter. She's rather young and sweet. I'd like to meet little daughter.
Classic. Some classic fun, and that's what this show is all about, is having fun. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Squatchable podcast, where we take a look at some of the news from the Bigfoot world. Joining me, as always, from Power Breakdown, Phil Pullen. Phil, welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Classic Super Soylent there. And joining us from Tennessee, outside of Memphis, Nikki Slick. Nikki,
Hey.
pretty seductive hey there. I like it. And joining us from the swamps of Louisiana, it's not a full moon, so he won't be a Rougarou tonight. Chubbs, how are you doing?
All right, greetings to everybody.
And if you enjoy Chubbs or Nikki or Phil Pulling, you may enjoy the badly drawn misadventures of two Bigfoot. Head on over to Facebook and Bigfooting with Keith and Colin, where this week we introduce the confused werewolf. And ladies and gentlemen, I cannot tell you how excited I am about this one.
He's excited. He's been messing with me. He's been talking to me about it today.
It's a good strip. I'm really looking forward to it. And without further ado, I'm your host, Richard Allen. Let's get on with it. Our first story is, of course, an old Squatchable staple. We did like 40 of these in a row when we first started the show. But it is a convention, the Gatlinburg Convention. Coronavirus is all done and dusted now. Murder hornets out of the window. We're moving on to the election in November. But before that, July 25th, let's head over to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where we can enjoy the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference, where James Bobo Fay, Adam Davis, Lyle Blackburn, Ken Gerhard, Amy Wu, and Ohio Night Stalkers will be speaking. Ooh, it's going to be a fun time.
I'll have to go with you guys next year.
Join us for the second annual Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference on July 25th, 2020 at the Gatlinburg Convention Center. Doors open at 9 a.m. and they go until 6 p.m. The event is open to the public, but advance tickets are required.
So it's just a one-day gig, huh?
Yeah. I'm sure it runs the entire weekend, Saturday and Sunday, but it just says July 25th.
You gotta set aside some time for drinking and smoking.
I'm pretty sure this is a one-day gig because on the poster and indeed on the website it just says July 25th.
It's a lot of information to get in one day.
Yeah, well,
like I said, maybe next year I'll go for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, next week, go.
Record and we can.
Yeah, walk into the room and say, hey, Pair Breakdown says, hey.
I'd get a great reception, I'm sure. What's up, guys? From Richard and Phil.
Yeah, Stargazer, Nikki and Chubbs are here as well. Don't be mean. If there are any questions about this show, feel free to chime off in chat. And I will answer them, and Phil will answer them, and Chubbs and Nikki will answer them as best as we can. So, Bigfoot Convention. Or we won't, whatever. Whatever. However we're feeling. Chubbs, how do you feel about Gatlinburg Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference?
Well, I've never been to a conference. They don't really come that close down here, maybe Mississippi. I'm glad that there's an opportunity like for people to network and get together, but I hope that they're allowed to get together, because I've never heard that people can get together in groups yet. So I hope they can, but otherwise, good luck.
Oh, didn't you hear, Chubbs? The virus is over now. We're moving on. The government have said, my government has said, that it's totally fine to congregate in groups again. The lockdown is over. There might be a second wave and a third wave. Who cares, bro? I mean, we're only peons. But yeah,
freedom.
Apparently freedom. But apparently it's all dealt with, so there will be a conference on July 25th.
I agree. Virus is over. It's had its day. Move on.
We've all had our fun, and now I look forward to those documentaries where they're like, when I first heard about the virus, I ran out and bought as much toilet paper as I possibly could. That will be the highlight of the year,
And I
2021.
still have it.
I've still got a garage full of toilet paper. Alrighty then. Anything else to add on the old conference?
No, I'm just looking at all of your wrestling videos. It's like, up next. I wonder what you've been watching.
I watched a lot of fishing videos, so I'm surprised we're back to what culture wrestling, if I'm honest. Yeah. But I did watch a couple of those before this, so maybe that's it.
Yeah.
It's pretty boring hauling Sturge, so...
Mr. Parslow?
Holland Sturge.
Hauling Sturge.
I think there's something wrong with Mr. Parslow. Let's have a look. Ah, yes, his head's been ripped off. I'll get you another.
Was that the commercial?
No. Of course not.
Of course not.
You didn't say now for a word from our sponsor yet.
Okay, sorry. Now, a word from our sponsor.
Oh, you want one now? Okay.
Do you have a small beaver? Or maybe a big beaver? Are you tired of your beaver being soaking wet after hours chasing her in the park? Then this is the product for you. Beaver Retriever. Make your beaver come when you want. This small whistle attracts beaver from all over. One blow on the trusty Beaver Retriever, and you'll be amazed at how fast your beaver comes. Running. Beaver Retriever. Make your beaver come when you want. If you're a beaver owner, you'll know that there's nothing worse than an unruly or unkempt beaver. But with new Beaver Retriever, you can be assured of total beaver control. Beaver Retriever. Make your beaver come when you want. Good.
You know,
You love being stroked, don't you?
You need that. You need that for your ferret.
do you know, I get messages on a weekly basis about how good the commercials are, but never about the show. Anyway,
We're like the Super Bowl.
Our first video comes from Ghosts That Hunt Back TV. It is a collection of some Bigfoot encounter stories. A couple of them repeat. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but one of them repeats. He or she is talking in a robot voice because apparently they've suffered several strokes, and if that's true, then we wish them a speedy recovery. However, in the Bigfoot world, I have learned to trust nothing. This is just what I said, a collection of short Bigfoot encounter stories. Do you know what my favorite part of this video was? My favorite part was the affidavits. Everybody would sign an affidavit to say everything is the truth. But it was just like people talking. There was no judge or anything involved. You guys listen to the video? What did you think?
Legal documents.
Yeah, it was good. It was well done. Everyone likes a good story.
I agree. I enjoyed it. If it wasn't for like the robotic voice, but like you said, as soon as they were like, "Sorry about the robot voice," I've had strokes. I was like, "Okay, this is acceptable."
Yeah, exactly.
She went a little too far though, and I'm drooling out of my mouth and crapping my pants. I can't get out of my chair. We really didn't have to hear all that.
Wow. Absolute wow is happening here.
Okay, I'm sorry. She didn't.
She's like,
That's the problem though. Like, it's a Bigfoot community. I don't know if I can trust this person.
Right.
It could be just someone that's shy and using a robot voice. I don't know. Chubbs, did you listen?
Yeah. Whenever I hear, these type of videos, I'm always, like you said, I'm glad we can compile stories to like try and get an idea of areas where like the most sightings are. But in the end, all we have is a sighting story. So it's good to have them, but this was a lot crammed into one video. But it was interesting enough.
Now, this is the video that included the story about the Mount St. Helens, the men stealers, the man stealers.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Now that story, it's interesting that the Indians or the natives over near Spokane knew that story or repeated the story because it's a Columbia Valley story, and they called them skookums, but it's the same thing. Don't go up on that mountain, and they were referring to Mount St. Helens because the skookums will get you. And there's a couple of old articles in, I think it was the Oregonian, printed in Portland back in the early 1900s, talking about these 8 men up on Mount St. Helens. And that was before the incident with the mining cabin.
The Battle of Ape Canyon.
1924.
There is a short story written by a man who said, "I fought the ape man of Mount St. Helens, who claimed to have gone into a fist fight with a Bigfoot."
I just picture like Peter Griffin and that chicken. If you know Family Guy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
The last one was the best, by the way. It was like the third encounter.
Absolutely. That would be like the best. If I knew how to do animation, I would do that. This dude and Bigfoot just fighting everywhere. That'd be great. All right. So yeah, Bigfoot encounter stories. As always, the link is in the description. Feel free to check them out. There's a story about a Bigfoot with breasts. So if that's your thing. and now a word from our sponsors.
Hey, Uncle Phil, can I have some of your tomato juice?
It's not tomato juice.
Well, it sure looks like tomato juice.
I can't help that.
I still say it's tomato juice.
Here, Robin, why don't you try some?
Whoa, this does not taste like tomato juice.
Of course not. It's VO5.
Feels.
That got a chuckle out of him.
Nikki, take over.
What?
Nikki, take over. Go, Nikki, go.
No, I don't. I wasn't prepared for this. You can't put me on the spot.
Our next video comes from a loser by the name of MVTV.
Oh my gosh, this video right here. That was good. I like it.
At least I didn't snort. Okay. That was great. That one was awesome. Okay. Sorry. It just the punchline came out of nowhere. It's great. It was just fantastic. Sorry. Right. Yeah. Professional. Okay. Our next.
But this proves that he doesn't always listen to the commercials because you played that before back when we did Unexplained Universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great commercial. I love it.
Okay. So this video comes from NBTV. It's called Impressive Bigfoot Footage. Man filmed and get close to a real-life massive Sasquatch. Spoiler alert, that's not what happens at all. In the first 3 minutes, the dude films a shadow, says it's a Bigfoot, and the rest of the 16-minute video is him walking around his quote-unquote area, explaining, as to why it's not close to civilization and why, this is a real Bigfoot.
It wasn't a shadow. It was obviously a person in an outfit But on top of it, he's like, I'm crouched really low to the ground. And you look at the ground, it's like 3 or 4 feet down from where he's at. So he's not crouched low to the ground. And that looks like someone that's just standing there. By the way, if you saw a Bigfoot and it's that close to you, would you be like, thank you for letting me take your picture, baby? Oh, thank you, sweetie. Don't run away. Stay right there.
Well, according to Timber Giant Bigfoot, if you get this close to a Bigfoot, you turn the camera to your face and film you going, oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, this guy broke the rules.
This guy broke the rules.
Yeah, another interesting thing is, if you look, and it kind of shows the comparison between, he goes back and films the spot where it was standing, crouching.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the first one where they have the Bigfoot there, you can't even see the fence. You can't even.
So blurred.
It's so blurry and so bad. And then the second one, perfectly clear.
Clear as day. Yep. Absolutely clear. Suddenly his camera is better.
Duh.
And once again, if there are any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. But yeah, now he's just walking around. He's going to his area. This looks like a very manicured piece of lawn right here. It's definitely been mowed. It doesn't look overgrown at all. And he's going to go into the what would you call this? A scrub.
Yeah.
He's going into the scrub. He's checking it out. He's explaining why, everyone's wrong about, the size of the Bigfoot and where he was filming it. And this drags on for 16 minutes. I'm quite annoyed about this because NBTV is usually a good shout. You just click on it, it's like 5 minutes long, show someone in a costume. Robert's your father's brother, Ooh, shout out to
I
Chubbs.
enjoyed that way too much. Robert's your father's brother. Love it.
He says he goes in to do a size comparison, but when he gets to the spot, he stays there for about 2 seconds and says, "Yeah, it was over there." And you kind of see a house and a nice wooden fence, but he doesn't give any size comparison. He just says it was squatting over there and over here, and he turns. It's like, okay, so all that time for nothing.
Yep. It wasn't a good video. It was very obvious that he wasn't like crouched down on the ground, and also even if he was, he's yelling at the Bigfoot. His phone is going off.
Yeah, I know. That kills me. Oh, my phone just went off. Oh
no, baby, don't go. Yeah. Why didn't he keep filming? And why didn't we see it walk off? The person obviously wasn't very tall. He's like, I'm next to the ground. It's massive. No, it's like 5'11".
Why didn't he do what I did when I was in Yellowstone Park and I saw Bigfoot?
Did you take a picture with it?
You did see those videos, didn't you?
I didn't. No. You have to.
He walked up to it.
Oh.
Yeah. There was 2 of them. I walked up to one. I said, I was, oh look, it's a Bigfoot. It's hiding behind that rock over there in the tree there.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, gosh, it looks like it. What could it be? I wonder what it is. Well, let's go find out. I'm just, it's so obvious. Why don't people do that?
I always say that too, and then Richard acts like I'm like gonna get somebody killed, but I'm like, go up to it. What's it gonna do? Throw a rock at your forehead? Like usually they don't hit people with their myriad of rocks. So what are they gonna do?
They're gonna run away.
Get into a fist fight with you? Apparently.
They're gonna get up and they're just gonna saunder off.
That's the Bigfoot way.
Yep.
We've been saying it for years. I think we need to put out like maybe a manual. If you're close to a Bigfoot and you only film 10 seconds, it's not worth putting out there. Like, why don't you film till your camera runs out or, anything? But people love to give us 10 seconds of something and say, there it is.
And he did turn the camera around to his face.
Yeah. There's that, of course.
which is clearly procedure in this situation. We don't want to see the Bigfoot. We want to see your face, your reaction to being this close to a Bigfoot, because that is the rules according to Timber Giant Bigfoot.
Maybe I should make a Bigfoot
To be
video.
fair, people do that in deer stands when bears decide to climb up the tree next to them.
That's true.
Maybe I should make a Bigfoot video, or Chubbs should make a Bigfoot video, Chubbs. And the whole video is just your face expressing how great it is to see this Bigfoot right in front of you.
Yeah.
Just like 2 or 3 minutes of that. Oh my God, what's it doing now? Oh my God. I can't believe that it's right there. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Don't do that to that bunny. No, that's inappropriate.
There's a fence there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He points for a second, and there's a fence in a house. He's behind somebody's. He's behind a community.
And he was walking across manicured land.
Right.
Is anyone giving this video a thumbs up, or are we all supremely calling this video a load of crap?
Load of crap for me.
Definitely a load of crap. Sorry.
Everyone's a total load of crap.
I don't think this guy.
Sorry, NVTV.
He's not
but,
a real Bigfoot hunter. He's not a real one. He's a wannabe.
A real one. Okay, do we have a word from our sponsor? Who is blowing into their mic?
That must be Chubbs.
No, that's not me.
Not you?
I hear it
No.
too. I have mine on mute when I'm not talking.
Oh.
Well, anyway, do we have a word from our behind?
This portion of the show is being brought to you by our mystery sponsor, a product that is so good that they're paying us to keep anyone from associating it with this program.
Okay.
Okay, that was short. That's sweet. Question from the chat room. What are our thoughts on the Matt Knapp situation? Phil, what are your thoughts?
What was the question from the chat room?
What are your thoughts on the Matt Knapp situation?
What Matt Knapp situation?
Exactly. Chubbs?
Well, tensions can heat up in any situation, and I hope for the best for those two guys, and if that's what they're talking about, but yeah.
I love how diplomatic you are.
Well, I do know Matt Knapp, and I know he's a straight up guy. But I don't know. I guess, is he having a tiff with someone?
Yes.
Who?
Do you really want me to? Do you really want me to explain it?
Yeah. I don't know anything about this.
On the 40 slip a couple of weeks ago, Matt Knapp and Chris got into it, and apparently they're not friends anymore.
Oh,
and there's been like 2 videos released of Chris telling his side of the story.
Yeah, I've really been away from YouTube for quite a bit, so.
Yeah.
Okay, Chubbs is diplomatic. Nikki, what's your thoughts?
What? I have many thoughts. My thing is, I don't know. I know there are followers of both, and it's really hard for me to be diplomatic because I speak my mind, but I think it's silly to allow such a gray sort of, I don't know, that conversation doesn't really have a right answer. It has a lot of opinions. And whilst I agree mostly with Chris's opinions, I understand Matt's opinions on it too. My brother OD'd on drugs. And I don't think that that's worthy enough to like kill a friendship over and a partnership over. Like if we did that, you and I would never be friends. We yell at each other daily.
We do argue a lot.
So I thought it was kind of silly. And then I haven't seen the second release video, but the first one, it just seemed a little bit, I don't know, like, I'm sorry this has happened, but this is why I'm writing the good guy. And I just don't think that it needed to be made. I don't know about the second one. It could have come off better. But whatever. That's my thoughts. What about you, Richard?
What are my thoughts on that situation?
I don't know. It just sounds like a difference of opinion. Is that about it?
It was 100% just a difference of opinion on legalizing drugs. It was really stupid because it's such a gray area. So, yeah.
Well, when you're in the public eye, you really do need to have a thick skin. And
yeah.
So, yeah, none of this makes any sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. And we don't know what happened behind the scenes. But, like I said, it's something with a lot of opinions that no one has the correct answer to. Like, honestly. So...
I think that's the best way of summing it up.
Yeah. Exactly, Lil Pennywise. Lil Pennywise said no one is right, no one is wrong. I think that things were done wrong on both sides. And that, it shouldn't have caused as big of a rift as it did.
Okay.
Moving on. Into the woods with Jeff. Bigfoot Land now has cameras. How do I explain this video?
Do you want me to explain it the way that I did?
No, let me explain it first, and then you can speak, okay? First of all, can I just say, I have a man crush on this guy. He's got a very, soft southern accent. I really dig it.
Yeah.
That's the most positive thing I can say about this video.
Okay.
It's 25 minutes of nothing.
Well, if I can just step right in here. After watching this entire video, which I did, I think that this is probably that Jeff is the likeliest candidate to replace Tim Fasano.
Ooh. Now that is a bold claim.
Mm-hmm.
You went there. You're going to have to back that up.
No, listen. First of all, he explains a lot about the creatures, the little people that hang out in the area. And he goes to this area, these huge boulder type. I mean, it looks like you're going through this canyon. I mean, it's very Indiana Jonesy.
Mm-hmm. It's very pretty.
Yeah, and it's like, my God, he's going back in here, and you never know what kind of things are, will-o'-the-wisp might be coming out of the rock or something.
Right, you never know what twigs snapped in such a way that he swears that that's what they did to the twigs.
But and I was really enthralled with the guy. At the very end, though, he said something. He said something that kind of put me off. So, he said, "What?" It was like something hit the rock on the other side, and then he goes, "What? What did you say?" Oh, he said this. I'm like, "Oh no, he's in the mind speak." He's in the mind speak.
They're using the mind speak. There were structures, but they were pulled down. There was cameras everywhere. I never figured out if he meant the Bigfoot were watching him with cameras or the government was. I never figured that part out.
Those people were they put all these cameras around.
Yeah.
So we are all being watched.
It's
it really, to me, like from the get-go, I had this feeling of I'm tripping on shrooms while taking a walk through the woods.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting.
That is what makes it interesting, but it was more like, that's what I took it as. It's like I'm just tripping on shrooms and talking while I walk through these woods.
If you bear with it, like the first 5 minutes, and you just slowly get pulled in by this guy, and then you just get this feeling of dread or expectation. He really does build up the tension halfway through this video.
Yeah, he does halfway through, because And it's pretty scenery. Like once he gets further in, like it's really pretty. But he's obviously like, oh, it just seemed like he was just pointing at random stuff and finding significance. This is where I heard the voices. Okay, so you were on shrooms? Like I don't know.
Yeah, this has got a thumbs up.
Yeah, you don't see any Bigfoot. He's not like, oh, there's a Bigfoot. It's more like, look at this snapped twig. Has significance. This boulder has significance.
And he has this great way of spinning things. And, I mean, it just really grabbed you, you know?
He's definitely good at grabbing you. Well, all right then. Everyone seems to like this video.
By the way, I've seen some of his videos in the past. He definitely goes into the paranormal. Like you heard him say he hears voices. It's not always a Bigfoot thing. Like he goes into little gullies or, wallows in some of his videos, and he borders the paranormal with the Bigfoot and ghosts and stuff. So if anybody likes that, he does go into that. So that's where you get like the voices now. I've never heard the camera thing before, but a lot of his videos, he'll start with Bigfoot and then he hears voices or he sees the little people. And so if you like that stuff, it's right up your alley.
Oh, but when he goes into
you watch other videos that he made. Sure.
Yeah, I've heard of him for a while, and
you went above and beyond what the show required.
No, he said he's been watching them before you sent him this one.
Yeah, maybe 2 years ago, I saw the first one from him, and he does the same thing. Like, goes to a place, you see structures, he'll tell a story, and then, did y'all hear that? And, so, like I said, you can mix the paranormal with the Bigfoot with him. So.
So he's pulling out some leaves or whatever between these rock boulders, and he says this may have been put here by the little people. So he's talking about the little people there.
Well, there's a little bit of everything where he goes, apparently. Now, he's never mentioned, like, portals or anything like that, as far as I know, but he seems to tap into the paranormal pretty good, so interesting.
Yeah, right on. Okay.
Do we have another word from our sponsors?
Calling all fudge packers. At Chocolate Box Confectionery, we're recruiting new packaging staff to help satisfy our bulging order sacks. Candidates must have at least 3 years fudge packing experience, or at least have knowledge of handling foodstuffs like pork or the beef. In return, Chocolate Box Confectionery offers class-leading benefits, with top fudge packers receiving a healthy wad every month. In addition, we're also seeking part-time staff to work across our range of novelty chocolate miniatures, including chocolate starfish, chocolate dusty sheriff badges, and chocolate one-eyed monsters. For more information, email bobby.grabber@chocolatebox.com. Do you love packing fudge? Pack it in Chocolate Box.
Skadoosh. That's some high-quality commercials right there.
We have only the best sponsors.
We do.
Seriously, if you guys have any questions about whatever, it doesn't matter. Have at it. I would say that probably speaks for most shows, right? If we catch it, if you ask something, we should answer it.
That's true. I don't mind answering anything.
But we're not going to answer any fudge packing questions. So.
Phil, it's your mic doing the thingy, I think.
No, I'm sitting back from my microphone.
Weird.
Strange.
Nothing's touching my mic. It's hanging on a boom above my head.
Dean, when I hear the term puka, I think about Changeling, the roleplay game, because I'm a nerd.
Anyway, our next video comes from Unexplained Mysteries. That seems like an oxymoron in my book, but whatever. Since a mystery is by its very nature unexplained, but whatever.
Well, it wouldn't be an oxymoron, it would just be repetitive.
Or moronic.
Or redundant.
Yeah, I have listened to Where Did the Road Go? It's a good podcast. So this one is a video on, well, it says this army official claims they found evidence of Bigfoot on this mountain range. It's covering the Himalayan Indian Army pictures from last year, I want to say. We did cover it on this show when it broke. There's also a couple of other Bigfoot stories chucked in as well. It's a good little watch. I enjoyed this video, I'm not going to lie. I'm thinking about subscribing to the channel for future stuff. I enjoyed it.
I remember the army story not too long ago, but didn't that turn out to be a hoax in the end? Or am I wrong?
It did.
Okay.
No, it did not.
No? Okay. It was an interesting story, and it was well put together, so good video.
The thing about the Himalayan Bigfoot tracks is if you step in snow and then come back a day later and it has warmed up, then it will have melted a little bit and made the foot bigger than it actually is. That's my thing about snow.
If you look at those tracks, they're not shaped like a human foot. It could have been a bear.
Could have been a bear. Could have been a small animal jumping.
Yeah, like a hare.
But it's interesting. It's interesting. The Himalayan tracks are one of them things that I find a little bit... Seriously?
Someone's vibrating.
Somebody should switch their vibrator on.
You can't tell me what to do. You're not my real dad.
Yes, I am. We did a DNA test. But yeah, I like this video. It's about the Himalayan tracks, but there's a few other stories chucked in for good measure. I enjoyed it. It's a good little watch. Nikki, what did you think of this video?
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I mean, you guys have pretty much said it all. I enjoyed it.
It was well done.
It was nicely done. It was very well produced.
No, it's definitely worth a watch.
We're all fans of this video. Good. All right then. I guess we're wrapped up for the week. As I said, please go to Facebook and Bigfoot with Keith and Colin, because this week, the Confused Werewolf, I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, well, we have other questions.
Oh,
do we? What
We
other
did.
questions?
So, have you ever watched the videos of scam baiters?
No.
I have no idea what that is. What is that? But he's
Scam?
clearly a troll, though. Just so you know.
Okay.
What is
totally-
it? What is it about? I'm gonna check this out now.
Well, I guess that's that. Music playing jobs. What are you going to be reviewing this week?
This week we're going back to some comedy. We're doing the movie Saturday the 14th.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I like that one.
that's a good
Yeah,
one.
A little comedy in there.
Good. Phil, you got any cool breakdowns coming up?
Oh, I probably will. There's a UFO one I want to whip up real quick.
Yes.
Awesome.
I love that everybody's completely fake. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get us
And
out of
to
here.
And to all our fans, I'd like you to give Nikki a round of applause.
What?
She has this week graduated from school. She's a fully qualified surgical tech now.
Yay!
Oh,
Thank you.
I am very proud of her. She worked very hard on it, and she deserves some love for that.
You know, dad should always be, proud of their daughters.
Mhm.
Exactly. Because we did the DNA test.
Yeah. And you had me when you were -1 days old.
There was an accident with a time machine and a contraceptive. That'll wrap us up for this week. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. My name is Richard Allen. She is Nikki. He is Chubbs. And he is Phil Pulling, Power Breakdown, Super Soylent. Say good night from us, and it's good night.
Night. Yes, I like
Good night.
names. BT dubs.